The town of Goffstown is performing a reassessment this year. Reassessments raise many questions amongst property owners. What is a reassessment? Why is a reassessment needed? What does the new assessment reflect? Will the final tax bill of this revaluation increase my property taxes? This brief video will explain the revaluation process and answer those questions. New Hampshire has historically rejected broad-based taxes such as income tax or sales tax. Instead, New Hampshire relies heavily on the property tax to fund local services for the town, county, and public education. New Hampshire law requires that the Select Board and the town assessor reassess all properties based on market value every 5 years. Your share of the tax burden is based on the assessment of your property. The nature of the value of real estate is that values change, and the reality is it rarely changes for every property type at the same rate, or for the same reasons. Basic fairness in property taxation requires that everyone pays based on the value of their property, and the reassessment resets all property to market value. Think of the total amount of taxes to be collected as a pie. Assessments do not determine the overall size of the pie. The size of the pie is determined by the budget and the amount of taxes to be collected. The assessment of your property determines your portion of the pie, your slice. A reassessment determines your portion based on current market value. Let's take a moment to look at how this year's reassessment shifted the property tax burden to reflect the changes in the market. The first pie shows last year's breakdown by general property categories. This year's pie shows that the portions of each category has changed. In this reassessment example, the value of all properties increased, but at different rates. The value of commercial and industrial properties increased, but at a slower rate than other categories. Therefore, commercial and industrial's portion has decreased. Bottom line, will my taxes increase? If the budget remains the same, then the same amount of taxes need to be collected. During a reassessment, a shift in the share of the property tax burden occurs. Typically, a reassessment will increase a portion of the taxes for a third of properties, cause no change for a third, and decrease a portion of taxes for another third of properties. Where do you fall? Once the reassessment process is completed and the total assessed value percentage increase of the town is known, you can estimate the impact on your portion of the taxes. If your percentage increase is the same as the total, then your portion of the taxes will remain the same. If your percentage is more than the total, your portion is increasing. If your percentage is less, your portion is decreasing. Taxpayers are a part of the assessing process. If taxpayers notice a problem, they need to bring it to the assessor's attention. We understand that all of your questions cannot be answered in this video. So for more information, go to the assessing website as shown here.